Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to make flower number 10. So obviously if you've purchased it, you are getting this video on how to make it. So you're going to start out with 7 of each petal size. Now I'll list the size of petals to make what size of flower you want to make. Now in the listing, obviously in the document, it will show you if you want to enlarge your flower, how to increase each petal size. So whether you want to make it larger or smaller than the one I'm making right now, it's completely up to you. If you want to make 4 layers of petals instead of 3, I'm just doing the 3 layers. So in there I will break down what the difference in sizing is for each one, and then you kind of can decide on how big you want your flower to be. So you start with 7 of each, and all you need is your petals, something to curl them with, a scissors, and then a hot glue gun. So we're gonna start off with, I like to cut them first. So you cut like about a 1 to 2 inch slit on each one of them. Now, I have already cut the other ones just to kind of speed up the process. So I'm going to just show you one of each of these petal sizes, and then I will just use those. So now that you've cut them, you want to curl them, and I will show you how I'm going to curl them, and then you can see what the flower looks like in the end. So basically you just take your thing and you curl, and just be very careful not to rip the top of the flower, obviously. Now I'm just showing you one way. You can easily do this multiple ways to make the flower turn out differently. So yeah, I'm just showing you this one way, and you can decide if you would like to curl them differently. So basically just start there, and I'm going to just give the top a little curl, and then on this side as well. Okay, I'll start with that. I want to curl a little bit more. So now that you've got them curled, oh, I'm sorry, I totally curled these the opposite way, which is a pretty good example that it's really easy to reverse the curls. So if you want to reverse, if you went the wrong direction, and you'll see why, because the petals I have are going this way, and I bent this one the other way. So it's super easy to reverse the curl without wrecking the petal. So there, I just changed it. It's not a big deal. Okay, so now that I have those, now you're gonna glue on the crease, or the slit. So you're just gonna take the smallest amount of glue and just barely overlap the petals, just to give it a little crease and to make it pucker a little bit. Now the farther you overlap it, the more the petal is going to stand up, which in the end will make your flower stand up, not lay out. So if that's the look you're going for, then that's totally fine. I want mine to lay out a little bit more, which will obviously make it bigger. So I'm just barely overlapping the two. Okay. And the last one. Okay, so now that I have my petals curled, you're going to take the largest ones. So I already have the other ones. We'll put these aside. So you're going to take your large ones, and you're going to take your base. Now, I cut my base really big because I was planning on doing a 4-layer petal or flower, and now I'm just going to show you 3. So since it's cut so large, I'm not gonna start on the edge. I'm going to come in a little bit, which is fine because you will not see the back of this. It will be on your wall or your backdrop. So it doesn't really matter how big your base is. You just wanna make sure you line them up properly and have the right distance. So you first start with just your first petal, and you're only gonna put glue on 1/2 of it, okay? So I'm gonna put it out right here. And I will show you why you only put glue on 1/2 of the first petal. And now the second one. And I like to go about halfway between the cut and the edge of the petal. That's where I put this edge. And if you really don't like having this big of a base, if you did what I did and you cut too big of one, just take a scissors and trim it down. It's really not that big of a deal. It's actually better to cut your base bigger than what you needed, because if you cut it too small, then you can't fit the petals on it. It'll be too far in. So it's better to cut your base bigger than too small. Okay, so we're coming up on the last petal. Now on the last petal, you see that I left this underneath, right? This half, and that's because when you put this last petal, you want to put it underneath the first petal, okay? And that's because if you were to put it over the top, now it's not the same all the way around. This one is underneath on both sides. So you are going to put that underneath so it is the same going all the way around. So that's why I leave this half undone, because it makes it much easier fitting it in there than trying to rip it up. Then you just put a little bit of glue down, and there you go. You have your first layer on your flower. Now we're gonna just do the same thing on the next size, the middle size, but again, remember, only put 1/2. Now you're gonna put it in between the first 2 petals, okay? You want them in between each of the petals. And now it doesn't really matter where you put it, because you're just aiming to keep them in between the bigger petals. Okay, and now we are coming up on our last petal again. Okay, oops. And you just do the same as you did before. Slip it under there. Make sure it is in between the 2. And then just put a little glue and glue that one down. And there is your second layer of petals. And now you're just going to repeat the process on the smallest ones. Now, like I said, you can do as many layers as you want of petals. I am just doing 3. I could have easily done a bigger one to make it much larger, but I thought I would just show you this one. But you would do the exact same thing as I'm doing right now, just adding an extra one. Okay, now you're coming to the last one, and you are gonna just slip it underneath like that. And just put a itty tiny little bit and lay it down. And there is your finished flower. Now all you have to do is put the center in, and you can decide what kind of center you want to put in there. I have several different templates that are available in my shop. I will just show you a couple. So this is one. I have that one as well. This one. And let's see, this one. And I have this one. You can see all those. So those are the different kind of templates I have. I have more in the shop and different listings, and you can buy those as well in the shop. So I just have them cut out. I cut them out in white and gold to go with this one. So I think I'm going to use, like I said, I usually double up the centers to just give it a little bit more pop. So maybe I'll do that one. Let's throw a white one in there. And that one. So I'm gonna just glue those down. So, glue right there. Stagger them a little bit, and there is your finished flower.